Okay, so this should be the last of these couple of tutorials, which will be known as to look or beginner PLL, and that stands for permutation of the last layer. What this involves is looking at the cube and deciding how we want to rearrange these four corners, and then looking again and then rearranging the edges around. So without further ado, let's go with it. Step number 1. Have a look at the corners and find out if on one side there are two colours that match. In this case there is, which are these two blues. So what we want to do is put them over to our left. Once they are over to our left, we face them out. We run this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. So if you don't have any of the headlights facing out, that means that we need to run the other algorithm, which swaps two diagonal corners. So to do that, we go F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. Take a break, notice the T, make sure that T is there because that means you're on track to doing it correctly. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. Okay, so this will be part 2 of the two-part PLL. This is where we cycle the edges around and you will be presented with one of 4 different outcomes. So for this outcome, we need to cycle from the right to the left and then bring this cube down to here and then this piece over to here. I realize I called that a cube. It's not a cube, it's an edge. Anyway, this one's solved, this one's not, this one's not, and this one's not. So we need to cycle it this way. So to cycle from right to left, or in a counterclockwise fashion, we do this. Okay, so in this case, we still have the back solved, and we need to cycle these 3 edge pieces clockwise. So to do that, we do this. Okay, one of the easiest ones is when we have all of the edge pieces opposite color of what the other one is, and to solve that, we do this. Alternatively, you can do it with U moves instead of U prime. I just find it a lot easier to do U prime. The last possible case you can get is when you have the 2 sides next to each other need to be flipped, so opposites on these colors and these colors. This can happen on any of them, so don't think it's unique to just orange and blue being flipped or green and red being flipped. It can happen anywhere. So what we need to do is position the bottom color here and the other color to the right, not the bottom color there and the one to the left. What you need it is down and right. So you can either do it that way or that way. And to solve this, you go okay, so combining everything that we've learned in the first 3, I'll do one quick example solve. So I've already got my white cross built because we didn't go through that. But in terms of F2L, I'll have a look at this here, and then we've got this piece here. We'll lift that out and put it into the top layer. We'll then look around and say we need to put it here, drop it down, line it up, bring it around and place it in. Okay. And then here we do this little doozy. Drop that in there, and then line these 2 up, like so, and them 2 up, and then that is our F2L done. We look at this, and we know we need to get across, so we do this, we get our cross. We then look at the case, and do that, and then we have headlights over here, so we do the T-perm to get it into this position. And we now need to cycle this one over to here. So we do this. So the more and more you practice, the better and better you'll get, the faster and faster you'll get, and the pattern recognition in your head will become a lot faster. You can probably get down to under 30 seconds quite easily and quite comfortably. So definitely keep at it. Practice, 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 and hope to see you in the next.